Simplicity tractory is overheating. My Simplicity tractor is barely agriculture and farm equipment. I have a Simplicity tractor, gas-powered, not diesel. It has hydraulics, PTO, front-end loader. These are often used by hobby horse farmers. Kind of a gigantic glorified ride on lawnmower. It has a Kawasaki engine. Simplicity has gone back to Briggs and Stratton, I think, but when I bought it, 10 years ago, they were using a sophisticated Kawasaki. Water-cooled, electric fuel pump. It overheats on a hot day after running for about an hour. On a 50-degree day it overheats after 2 or 3 hours. It is genuinely overheating. It doesn't seem like the sensor is busted. I have a good mechanic, but I want some expert advice on what to check. Then I'll ask him what he thinks. My current thoughts: 1. There are rubber seals inside the engine chamber that separate it into 2 sections. One is the air sucking in, that blows through the fan and over the radiator. The other section is where the hot air goes after it blows through the fan and over the radiator. There is a screened opening above where this air can flow out. These rubber seals are degraded, and the 2 chambers are probably mixing quite a lot. 2. I replaced the carburetor myself a few years ago. Maybe I have it misadjusted so it runs too hot? What should I do to check and be sure? Feeling the top of the mower where the hot air is supposed to be blowing out doesn't really work, because there's a lot of other places hot air can blow out of.
Hi, my name is XXXXXXXXXX. I am here to help you. These engines are very much like car engines, or more like liquid-cooled motorcycle engines. The prime suspects in either of those cases are the same here. Is the coolant in the radiator full? Is the overflow jug half full? Are the fins of the radiator clear? Is there flow evident in the radiator? Is the water pump working? If all of the above appear okay, then the next suspect is the thermostat. It has been my experience that the fins are clogged with grass and dirt most often, but it doesn't sound like you are mowing grass with it, so that may not be as likely for you. The most likely culprit is the thermostat. Please let me know if you have any other questions. Thanks.
I mow quite a lot, actually. The fins may be clogged, though there is a screen that covers them, and we clean it often. How does one clean the fins? It seems really hard to get a brush down in all those tiny passages. The overflow jug is half full, but I don't know if the radiator is full. My mechanic recently did full service, so I hope he checked that. How do I check that the water pump is working? You didn't seem impressed with my 2 suggestions: the seals between sections of the motor chamber having opened up, or the carburetor being incorrectly adjusted.
Sorry if I seem dismissive. The amount of air that the fan moves is plenty sufficient to compensate for the rubber baffling. If it concerns you that they are that way, then they can be replaced, but I don't think that is where your problem lies. As for the carb, if it was lean enough to overheat the engine, it wouldn't run hardly at all, so I doubt if that is your problem either. Typically, once the engine is up to operating temperature, you can remove the radiator cap and see the coolant moving inside. As for cleaning the fins, never use a brush. The tubes in the radiator core are pretty fragile and a wrong move can cause a rupture. The best remedy is compressed air blown straight down through the fins. I believe your radiator is on top of the engine. If in front, blow straight back. If compressed air isn't feasible, then a water hose can do the trick. Once you start, you will see large amounts of sediment come out, mostly stuff that was too small for the screen to catch. Make sure to keep the direction of air or water perpendicular to the radiator, or you can bend the air baffles in between the tubes and block airflow. Let me know if this helps. Thanks.
Thanks. My radiator is on the back of the engine. That is, air flows from the direction of where I sit towards the front of the tractor. If I use a hose, should I squirt water from front to back or from back to front? And I guess I should be careful how hard I squirt? Also, I would have been afraid to open the cap when the engine is up to temperature. Won't it squirt out and burn me? If the coolant isn't moving, is it possible it just needs to be flushed and replaced, or do I probably need a new water pump?
The best way would be to spray from the engine towards the seat, or basically opposite the normal direction of airflow. It is easier to take the cap off and then get the engine up to temperature, and safer, yes. Also, a flush may be helpful, certainly couldn't hurt, but if the pump has failed or the thermostat has failed, those will need to be corrected before the flush will work properly.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit JustAnswer.com/YTHI.